G'day. Today we're going to create isometric characters that you can use as part of your 3D journey maps. We're going to be using tools such as Midjourney AI to create the images. We're going to export them into Adobe to clean them up. And then last, we're going to put them into Miro so you can play with your journey maps. Let's crack on. What you're seeing here is a 3D or an isometric journey map, which we've used Midjourney AI to create all the images for. We've actually housed it in Miro, and you can actually download this template from the Miroverse. We've put the link down in the description. If we zoom in for a moment though, you'll be able to see that each of the individual characters that we've created, you can all drag around and you can actually move each of the individual steps and you can edit them. But for now, let's focus on how do we actually go about creating these images. I've now jumped into Discord where we've already set up Midjourney. If you're needing help with the installation, down in the description we've put a link through to Futupedia's walkthrough guide of how to do an installation and setup of Midjourney. It's absolutely fantastic and I encourage you to check it out. But before we actually create our first image, I just want to make sure that the settings we're using is the same as what you've got. To do that, what we want to do is type / and hit settings. So if we look at our settings, first of all I'm on version 6, which at the time of recording this video is the latest that's available. You'll also notice that we're on stylized medium. Stylize affects the degree that it's going to follow your prompt. With being low, the more accurate it's going to be the prompt. The more stylized set to very high, the more it's becoming artistic, which is kind of like a designer going off to the reservation. We're also set to public mode, which is the default that Midjourney has. So remember, every image you create is going to be visible to others. And we've also enabled high variation mode, which means you're more likely to get differences in the types of images that it's creating for you out of the 4 panels. So let's now jump into creating your first image. To do that, we want to be able to type / imagine and hit enter. This will bring up your prompt where you're good to go to start to enter in your first commands. I'm going to copy one of the prompts that we've used before to speed things up. But I'm going to hit enter and now explain what the prompt actually means. Down here we've got what's called the isometric view. That means we're looking for a 30-degree angle that we're hoping it will produce. I say hoping because sometimes it doesn't quite get that 30 degrees right. I'm after a full realistic body because that means you're going to see the whole image of the person, hopefully, when it pulls those images back. Hand-drawn is the type of image I'm going through, and I've asked for it to be in the style of Hergé Tintin, simply because I haven't grown up as a kid. I've then specified what I want the image of. In this case, it's a man in a red jacket walking his dog towards us with a white background. Now you'll notice the image that's actually come back, nobody is walking towards us. So one of the tricks that you have behind that is to be able to add or adapt the prompt. To adapt the prompt, you've got what are called these variation buttons that are beneath the images, V1 to V4. V1's top left-hand corner, V2 is top right, V3 is bottom left, V4 is bottom right. So I think at this point in time, I'm probably going to go for adapting version 2. That's in there. Let's click on version 2. And what this does now is it's bringing up a prompt box saying, here's your original prompt, what would you like to change? In my case, I'm going to ask for a red jacket. I'm going to take out walking his dog towards us. I'm going to take out the command towards us. Instead, I'm going to have of a man who is smiling. The reason I'm putting that command in is what you tend to find is if you give Midjourney a command about the face, it's more likely to bring that face into the view or into the design. So let's just use the power of video to speed ahead. So it's just come back with 4 images. Each one's pretty cracking in terms of the style or the approach. I think let's go for version 1. Now, for version 1, what I want to do here is I want to make sure that I've upscaled it. So I'm going to use the U buttons, in this case, U1 being of the image in the top left. You see it pretty quickly brings back that image in a full size. I'm now going to copy that image by right-click and hit copy image. And let's jump into Adobe where we're going to edit it. So we've now jumped into Adobe where I'm going to paste in the image. But you'll notice one of the challenges we're immediately seeing is that the shadow's been cut off, and that may be a problem when you're actually trying to have quite a clean or a tidy journey map. So what we're going to do is we're going to click the little crop tool. We're going to hit expand out here, and then we're going to hit the enter button Now, fingers crossed, what it's doing at this point is actually going to expand out the shadow for us. It doesn't always work, so we may need to give this a few attempts, or you may need to give this a few attempts to see how distorted it's going to be on shadows. But in this case, it's worked. Brilliant. So it's now created a fantastic shadow for us. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to merge those two layers, right click, merge the layers. I now want to hide the background that we've got, and I want to use the magic wand that's up the top left hand corner here. I'm going to click on the white area in the background and I'm going to hit delete. You'll notice that's removed as much of the white and starts to leave that transparent effect, but it hasn't got all of it. So I'm just going to clean that up manually, highlighting it, holding down shift, hitting delete. Missed a few spots. So again, this has given us a fairly reasonable view of the character that we want. And what we want to do is now export it. So we get File, Export for a ping. We need to give it a name, Man Walking Dog. Hit Enter. So now let's jump back into Miro and get ready to drag the image in. So if we grab the character's image from the desktop, drag it across. Here we've got a giant we've just added to the city. So again, if you want to make that smaller, you use the cursors in the corner to bring them down to about the right size. Again, I'm using some of the little cues. I'm now going to drag him up over the character. And that's your very first image that you've created for your journey. So we wish you all the best in being able to create your own fantastic images. If this video was of help to you, we'd really appreciate a like and a subscribe. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.